Real World was a little bit slow to begin. On the other hand, Life is Good got an absolute flyer. He didn't miss the start. He's in front. Midnight Bourbon is second. Then comes Hot Rod Charlie racing third, now fourth, as Country Grammar slipped along the inside to get a bit closer. Hypothetical at the outside. The lines of blue colours couldn't get to the lead. Real World, the old blue colours, got shaken up to hold the rail. Then comes Aero Trim, the black and white colours, with Remorse a further 2 lengths away. Chewer Wizard and Magni Core are the last two as they now go towards the back straight, and Life is Good is in front by 1 length over Midnight Bourbon, who races away in second. Country Grammar is third. Hot Rod Charlie in fourth, just got shaken up for a few strides. Hypothetical makes him racy at the outside. Then comes Real World, the all blue colours, racing a good 7 to 8 lengths off the leader. Aero Trim, Magni Cores and the blue body and the white cap. Remorse in that group, and Chewer Wizard has got it all to do. Life is Good got the softest lead you could imagine, an uncontested lead. Life is Good is in front by just over 1 length. Midnight Bourbon in the maroon colours is second, couple of lengths away to Hypothetical. Some of these runners are badly off the bit. Country Grammar's against the rail, now third. Hypothetical drops into fourth. Alarm bells are ringing for Hot Rod Charlie. Then comes Real World. Remorses in the gold silks. Couple of lengths away then to Chewer Wizard. Magni Cause towards the end of the field, and they're about to spin for home. They go to the top of the straight. They got just over 400 metres left to run, and Life is Good guides them into the home straight. Now gets asked a question, but he's kicked 2 lengths clear of Midnight Bourbon, who's second. Country Grammar third. Hot Rod Charlie's towards the inside rail. Then comes Chewer Wizard. 200 metres out. Life is Good is the leader. Second. Hot Rod Charlie continues to gain ground towards the inside. Life is Good with a target on his back. Country Grammar getting the upper hand, draws alongside, and Country Grammar with his date with destiny in front, a length and a half. Country Grammar won the Dubai World Cup. Hot Rod Charlie ran second. Chewer Wizard third. Life is Good didn't go the 2,000 metres, ran fourth. Midnight Bourbon. Then came Remorse, Aero Trim, Hypothetical. They were ahead of Real World and Magni Core. Country Grammar and Frankie Dettori for Bob Baffert wins the 2022 Dubai World Cup, sponsored by Emirates Airline. His date with destiny. He's now won the big one after a cracking run in the Saudi.
Frankie Dettori, Bob Baffert, Country Grammar has won the Dubai World Cup. That's a 4th win in the race for trainer Bob Baffert. What a victory. Great celebration from Frankie. Wow, that would have felt like a long last couple of furlongs for a few of them, Chad. Life is Good. He got very tired.
And really no excuses. He got a clear lead. He set reasonable fractions, and he saw out the 1800 no problem like he did in the Pegasus, but after the 1800 he started getting a little bit late, and the cavalry was coming. Country Grammar from the outside, and Hot Rod Charlie somehow got back in the race on the inside, but Country Grammar got out in time.
Yeah, it was interesting because Hot Rod Charlie swinging in. We were kind of going, he'd suspend force. He dropped back to 5th or 6th and managed to get back up there. Chazz Wizard, I don't know where he came from. He ended up being 2nd or 3rd, I think. Yeah, it all happened quite late on. There was a lot of horses, stamina-wise, that were just getting tired.
The one thing that Bob Baffert has said since the beginning, though, is this horse wants 2 turns. The further the distance, the better. Life is Good. There was questions about the distance. There was never questions about the distance. It was just whether or not he can replicate that form from Saudi, and boy, did he.
Yeah, he did. And like you say, there's been question marks over that Saudi run. I just felt the track here would suit him better. You know, he was always beautifully positioned by Frankie.
You see here, Life is Good is drifting out again like he's done in so many of his races. I'm not saying that's going to cost him the race, but it might cost him second here. He just can't maintain that straight line in the stretch. He's done it every time in America.
It's interesting that you say that. He drifts out to the right, and Irad Ortiz has got his, I don't want to criticise him, but he's got his stick in his left hand, so it's kind of as if he's hitting him that way.
Hot Rod Charlie finishes second. That's in a way the worst place to be, really. But beaten by this horse, and we've got to give the horse plenty of credit. He was coming back off a 9-month absence when he ran that excellent second in the Saudi Cup. Prior to that, he was a Grade 1 winner. It came in the Hollywood Gold Cup, and he's done this again for Frankie Dettori, who of course has a great record in this race, mainly for Saeed bin Saror. And this will mean an awful lot to him, you'd think, because he's had so many big days in Dubai, but to come back and do it again at the age of, 52, he's going to be pretty chuffed.
Still the greatest, by far. He's still the greatest. He was the greatest when I started riding, and he's still the greatest now. I don't think we'll ever see anyone match him. Not only his riding ability, but his personality on a racetrack.
It's actually his 4th win in the race, equaling the record held by Jerry Bailey for most wins. It's his first since 2006, though. That was on Electrocutionist. And this horse only had 10 starts now, won 4 of them. And where will he go now, Chad? I mean, there's so many big races in America for them to target. Will they work back from the Breeders' Cup Classic?
Well, I'd say he won't run for the next 90 days, right? That's for sure. Look, the fact that Bob Baffert's been able to do this with the cloud that's been hanging over his head back in America with everything that went on, and to just maintain business as business is. He sent Jimmy Barnes out here. He sent his best exercise rider out here. They went from Saudi. They've had this targeted the whole time since Amr Zenden bought into this horse back in December, that they were going to go take on the Middle East. And look, he ran second in Saudi. He wins this race here. You really do have to tip your cap to Bob Baffert, because it's not easy to train when you have so much going on in your head. And to compartmentalize what he's been able to do is really, really amazing.
Yeah, I think as well. And full credit to the connections, because I saw an interview in Saudi. The owner was fully behind Bob. And like I say, it's very hard for him, like you say, with everything that's going on over his head, and, to prep these horses in the way he does. The guy's a genius. I mean, he's won this. I think that's his 4th win now. So
Ahmed Zidane is here this evening. I'd be surprised if he isn't. Big supporter of equestrian sport in the UAE with polo as well, and a very eloquent man, a very nice man to talk to. I'm hoping he's here enjoying this victory. And you feel a bit for Flavien Prat, perhaps, ridden this horse his last 2 starts?
Look, it wasn't necessarily a difficult decision for him. And look, Hot Rod Charlie, and we'll watch the replay back here in a little bit, he got the worst of the kickback. He teched himself out. I mean, Hot Rod Charlie runs an unbelievable race to get back up for second. So, yeah, Flavien will be a little bit upset for a second. That's a big purse, but no harm in the ride there from Hot Rod Charlie at all.
No, and you say Flavien will probably be kicking himself. I don't think Frankie was first choice when Flavien didn't ride this. I've got a funny feeling William Buick was booked to ride this horse, and then he obviously had to ride the Godolphin horse, and then Frankie got taken off Real World, so it was like a jockey's merry-go-round. So I don't think they actually had a rider up until the 12th hour for this horse.
Well,
so
there was a long time where Louis Saez thought he was going to ride the horse as well. He ends up sitting in the hotel now watching the World Cup from home. But look, at the end of the day, this is a really, really nice horse. It was always meant to be a nice horse. This horse started his career with Chad Brown. So 2 wins on the night for former Chad Brown horses with Switzerland and Country Grammar. Unfortunately, the owner of this horse, Country Grammar, Paul Pompa, passed away. And Paul, looking down on us, was one of the biggest supporters of racing, the nicest people in the world. And just so happy for all the connections that were involved in this horse from the very beginning to get here, because it takes an entire army to win on this night.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of work goes behind the scenes. Like you say, Jimmy Barnes walking in there, he's been an integral part of Bob Baffert's barn for years and years. But I think this is the greatest result, because it's the first year we got the crowds back in, and the greatest man, the man Mr. Showtime, wins the race. So I don't think people were even bothered about the horse winning. It's more fact that Frankie's just won the World Cup.
He didn't hop off last time. It was a photo finish. He went back to the judge room. He's 52. Eventually, these hop-offs are going to lead to some problems with his knees.
I'm just going to see how he lands this one.
It's all about if he takes his feet out before he's doing a flying dismount. No way he won't on this horse, of course. And it's probably the biggest reception of the night, just beating Tig in that particular race. And it's all about Frankie. It really is. He has to get everyone out the way before
I think he might get an extra bit of spring in this one.
There we go. There we go. Fantastic. Brilliant. 189 wins here in the UAE for Frankie. Double on tonight following Lord North earlier on in that memorable Dubai turf. Dead heat.
It'd be interesting to see how many Group 1s Frankie's had. I think he could be... it must be a huge milestone. I think he's probably nearing 1,000 or something. He's just he's definitely had over 100. I think he's probably nearing 200. He's just been a marvellous servant. He's carried racing on his back for a long, long time. When racing was down, Frankie picked it up. And he was down on his feet. A few years back when he lost the job with Godolphin. And that just shows you what a true champion is. He was able to get himself back again with obviously the John Gosling
hold that thought. We're going to hear from Frankie Dettori himself after he's weighed in, of course.
Frankie Dettori, that was your 4th win in the race, first one at Maidan, as they mentioned earlier. Take us through the run. It looked like it was one of the most patient rides I've seen in quite some time. You got it done.
Yeah, I've been studying the horse for a long time. I've been pestering Zidane and Bob to ride him. I knew he stayed very well. There was question mark about the favourite, but to be honest with you, at the half-mile pole, he lost me. The favourite got 3, 4, 5 lengths from me. I thought, well, sit quiet. Guy's 2nd or 3rd. Yeah. He's lots of money. I made him fill his lungs up again, and I saw the strike signal the first 2. My fella knocked her down, and it was a surreal moment because inside the furlong pole I knew I won. Yeah. But just to take it all in, I thought, oh my God, at 51, he would win the 4th World Cup. It's so surreal.
And it looked like, when during the stretch did you know within you were going to get there?
About this, my son.
Oh, congratulations.
I passed the quarter pole. I thought maybe I get him.
Yeah.
At the furlong pole, I thought I knew I had won because the first and second they were good. And
did you see Hot Rod Charlie coming up the inside at all?
I did saw him, and I thought, well, it's between me and him. But my fella kept on galloping. He's got a massive stride, and he just kept to put one leg in front of the other, and he got to the line.
What did Jimmy and Bob tell you before the race, as far as like what to expect from him?
So with Bob.
Yeah.
Well, he's been ringing me at stupid hours. I got a missed call at 4 a.m. this morning, and I didn't answer. But he gave me plenty of info. He told me, be patient, the favourite's going to run off the fence, stay inside. I did. But in the straight, I was trying to find another leg, so I pulled him on the outside, and it worked.
Yeah, well done. Let's get your signature.
Oh, yeah.
Frankie Dettori, the man again. 4 wins in the Dubai World Cup. 4 as well for Bob Baffert. 4 career wins for country.